Welcome to the Let's Keep It Light podcast, and thanks for listening. In this episode, Ginger Bowler and Isabel Martinez touch on why it's important to educate yourself about light therapy.
Okay, so we're going to start on the topic of why be educated in photobiomodulation if photobiomodulation or light therapy is not regulated in any state in the United States. Now, Isabel and I are having this conversation, and you're from Mexico or live in Mexico. So it may be different there, but in the States, you don't have to be certified. So why would a person who is adding light therapy or photobiomodulation to their wellness practice or doing this as a standalone, why would they want to be educated?
Well, first of all, I think that it is the most important thing to know what you're doing for yourself. Just for yourself, because if you are aware on why you're getting results, then you can go deeper in whatever field you want to, or you have as a challenge in front of you, and you can know that you won't be hurting or you won't be doing bad at all. So that in first place to me would be part of the most important. And then not to get in any kind of issue or claiming something that you're not going to achieve, because then you may have trouble. So that's really very important. For us in Mexico, I don't think we have any kind of regulation at this point. So there's no problem to use light. And I haven't done huge research on the people that are using like clinics and wellness center, how well educated they are. But I certainly hope that they are getting right information from where or who is selling them.
Right. So, for clarity, photobiomodulation is considered so safe and effective that it was reclassified as a general wellness modality by the FDA around 6 or 7 years ago. And there's some real pluses to that reclassification, because you're not going to hurt anyone by putting the lights on them. There's always that chance, of course, but it doesn't really happen, But what you pointed to, Isabel, was that a lot of where a practitioner will get themselves into trouble is by being so excited about their modality and having some great result with someone and then claiming that came directly from their modality. And it may or may not have, but we're not to make claims about diseases and conditions. Photobiomodulation or light therapy releases nitric oxide from your own hemoglobin, and that increases the circulation and that whole physiological process that happens with the whole cytochrome C oxidase and all that scientific stuff around what's happening. But the bottom line is it's a vasodilator. So it's increasing the circulation, decreasing pain and inflammation. In the research points to, in the presence of the release of nitric oxide, there's so many other physiological processes that are supported, such as the release of collagen, release of osteoblasts. So that's why it strengthens bones, and helps in wound healing. There's just a ton of research, scientific research out there, and you all can just go to pubmed.gov and look it up for yourself. There's thousands of articles on either PBM or photobiomodulation, LLLT, low level light therapy or low laser light therapy. And, or you can just even put LED light therapy, and sometimes things will populate for that. So there are so many physiological responses, including that it helps to reset the circadian rhythm. So if you're having problems with sleep, I've had a whole mess of people tell me that they used to be depressed, that they're not depressed anymore once they start using light therapy on a regular basis, et cetera, et cetera. So we know it's helping regulate the hormonal system. And think about it. I mean, what organ or system or even gland of the body couldn't be supported by an increase in circulation or getting more oxygen? So that's what's happening, is the cells and the systems are getting more oxygen, and then toxins are coming away from the cells more effectively too. So we started with the three of us: Ginger Bowler, that's me; Isabel Martinez, that's you; and then Marcy Denton. We were the founders. We are the founders of the Let's Light Therapy Certification Program. So that's light and energy training seminars. Actually, you and I had been working in the biofeedback industry, and we're doing some other courses, right? And so we had the idea, I guess.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we were just like doing different things and with energy modalities. And somehow we got this interest in doing sequence of courses together, and we didn't know what would that be. And we had in common the light therapies, the light devices that I was just coming in to start in Mexico. Because before that, I was not willing to get involved with any other device, but the one that I knew, the cold light laser, that was it. And when they really convinced me to go to this meeting in Cancun, and finally we met in person, then it's when we kind of started working together because of, okay, we have same interests, same courses that we would be working with. So we decided to go and take a look on the certification for light, because nobody was really doing that at that time.
Right.
I think it was just online. And we said, let's do live courses. And that's how we started after our first energy field fitness that we did. And then we were not knowing how all this was going to be structured. You went to some place where you met Marcy, and Marcy...
A conference, a light therapy conference. And Marcy turned around to meet you and said, hey, I can teach science. And you said, oh, perfect. So that's how we all came together and started as a team. Yeah, Marcy Denton, I remember meeting her at that moment because I was sitting right behind her in this conference for, I don't know if it was the Avalon Light Therapy System or Enlight Wellness or what it was, or Enlight Medical, whatever. But I asked a question from my seat in the audience, and she turned around, she flipped her head around and said, so she recognized my voice. And she said, are you the woman that teaches the spirituality of light? And I was like, what? Because I had never heard it said in that way, my above the line, below the line energy model. But she had taken, I'm not sure whose course it was, but obviously I had taught the understanding energy model, my model. And so then she said that I had taken the course and that she loved it. And that if there was, and I said, well, we're developing a whole light therapy. We're going to start out at the retreat center here in Boulder at Hannah Kroger's retreat, Peaceful Meadow Retreat, is where we taught our courses. And I'd been teaching for a couple of decades, it seems, or longer, or lifetimes. And that's when she said, well, if you need a science teacher, I'll teach the science. Well, that was music to my ears because I really didn't know who was going to teach the science, because the reality was that I couldn't explain the science. I had heard Dr. Burke and some of the other ones explain it many times in my event center, the whole thing, and I'd fall asleep, basically. I mean, at the time, it was like, oh, I don't want to need to know this stuff. I was so happy with just my biofeedback device and Hannah's Kroger's work and all the stuff that I was already doing. It seemed much too technical for me. So I really didn't want or, feel like I needed to understand it from that perspective, because I understood what I understood about light therapy from not just my own experience, but from understanding it from an energy perspective.
And
how is it
experiencing itself.
Right. How is it affecting the aura, the auric field, the energy, the mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, social bodies that we have way beyond our physical body, because I could observe that. And, but I knew that the consciousness of the planet was even more than, but still is now. Show me the science, show me the science, show me the science. If you don't have the science to back it up, we don't believe that it's real. Well, there's tons of science. I just didn't have access to that at the time. Well, I had it, but I didn't know I had it until I met Marcy.
Yes, and Marcy. I think what really was a very good thing that Marcy came into the team is because she was teaching young kids. And I think that's what was successful with our courses, that she could bring the information that may be really complex into fun, easy ways to have it out there for all of us to really understand it and even experience through the you remember the lens colors that through watching those with those lens that we were using,
like kaleidoscope or whatever.
Yeah, and then the thing that you were creating the comparison on frequencies with, I don't know how you say,
the slinky.
So yes, doing that in a very easy way. Playful. And Marcy had all that with her because she was already in contact with all these materials. You remember how she was coming in with all this suitcase filled with all her little toys.
Right, because she was used to teaching fifth grade science.
Yes.
So she had to really bring it down to the level that people just entering the field could understand what's happening physiologically, so that being responsible for not just if you are a practitioner of light therapy now and using your wellness practice or your medical practice, but also for even for home use, to have some understanding of the power of using light therapy. So she really, brought it down to some basics. But we developed a kind of affectionate name for Marcy, and I called her Baby Einstein because she's this little person, and she is so educated. I think she's one of the people on our planet she's in the top with some of these fantastic scientists that are out there researching all the time, I think she's kind of up. She's at least in, up in that area somewhere with her understanding, not just of light therapy. There's plenty of people that understand the science of photobiomodulation, but how it affects the human physiology. And so, but because she's up there in this mode of how it all comes together and how it affects blah, 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 she did have some real struggles of bringing it down and staying on topic. And that's where you really took the lead for us with our Let's curriculum, is that you were the one that just kept bringing her back down to stay on topic. And I would always say, context, Marcy, context. You're off excited about something that's you're talking about some we don't know where you are in the body right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you called me the whip.
The whip, right? Like, so. Get back on topic.
Yes, and well, I think that's what made our team really fun and successful, because I was kind of getting the order on many things, because me trying to understand from the English that I was reading, bringing it to Spanish and trying to comprehend the information that we're trying to put there. And if I was not understanding even in English because of how it was created at some point, then I couldn't translate that because it wouldn't make sense. So because of that, we started really cleaning how and what was important to educate
and to simplify.
Right. Because it was really huge amounts of information that was not easy to manage for the time that we were spending to create the certification. So I think that was like a very good way for each of us to have its own part of the work, because you were there like guiding, directing. Marcy was doing like the teaching itself,
the science part,
and I was the one saying, time off, you need to go there, stop it, just do it.
Nobody's following you right now.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, that's thing that I think that's what was very, very good to have these courses, and apart from the fun that we were having and the time. Yeah.
Right. And I think, and I still believe this, that what has made our curriculum different or sets us apart from others, even though I'm for anything that helps a person, we're for anything that helps a person have a better life. So, go get yourself educated in light therapy if you're going to add this to your practice. It doesn't have to be our course, but what sets us apart, I think, is that that we teach it not just from the science perspective, but from the understanding energy. Mm-hmm. And because we are in the field of energy medicine, mm-hmm. That's what my doctorate is in, energy medicine. And that is all about the subtle energy fields in the energy body and things that much of humanity doesn't even know exists. Mm-hmm. But just because we don't know exists doesn't mean it's not real.
Yep.
The other thing that is important for being educated in the field is that we do, include the legal compliance and professional ethics mm-hmm. part. And so let me just step back and say that in industry, so we're not regulated. Our photobiomodulation is not regulated in any state in the United States at this time. meaning you don't have to be licensed to practice because it's considered so safe and effective. Okay. However, it is highly advised that you be certified, which is what our program is, a certification, preparing the person for board certification. And then there's an independent board. The board that we use is the Board of Advanced Natural Health Sciences, BANHS.org. So that this also, and it not only protects the practitioner, it protects the client. And so in our course, we're very fortunate that who is really responsible for writing the, or developing, I guess I was just a secretary on this part. The legal and compliance and professional ethics part of our course is the attorney Jim Turner. I'm sorry, my brain just went there for a second. I love this man so much. He is deceased now, but he was such an amazing attorney and such an advocate for our industry. He was even, one of Ralph Nader's attorneys way back. Mm-hmm. And he just knew how to work with the FDA. And the FDA needs to be our friend, not our foe. And that's the Food and Drug Administration, who, does clear medical devices and photobiomodulation or light therapy. When we first got into it, was classified differently than it is classified now. Yeah. And it was as a class 2 medical device, which is a device that does no harm. So Jim was able to help with all of that, those 510K registrations. And there were other attorneys and people, that are responsible for getting through this very expensive process. And so for a long time we were operating. And when we first started the course, we were operating under that umbrella of class 2 medical device. Now there is a plus and a minus to having that classification changed, because now that it's a much broader classification as a general wellness device, it means that there's a whole lot of people getting into the field, and manufacturers who can say, oh, well, that's a little electronic thing. Let's see, I can make one that looks pretty much just like that. And they may have no idea really what they're doing, or about frequencies or pulsing or different things. So that's why we just say to you all who are listening or going to include this in your wellness practice, just make sure you have go with a reputable company. We're not going to make any suggestions right now. You can go do your homework. We have the devices that we love. If you want to know, then email us. But that's not the point of this podcast. It is get yourself educated. And probably more than anything, and probably what the board cares about more than anything, is informed consent, professional ethics, the legal, the compliance, to protect not just the practitioner, but especially your client.
Your clients. And I would like to jump on this because, let's say, as for what I was doing or saying from the beginning, that to know what in reality, what is it that we are doing? Because I really think one of the most frequent things that I can think of in this sense is how nervous system may respond because of the light. If there's some damaged areas in your skin, or some parts that may be sending like alarms saying, this is really warm, your device is getting too hot. And just to be able to say, hey, it's not the device, it's your tissue, it's your body, it's your nervous system that's reacting to this, because there's a kind of thing that is damaged. Those cells, they may be responding like in ways that are just because they're not properly working. So we have to be aware that people don't know that. And if us as practitioners don't know that that can happen, then we can think that the devices themselves are the ones that are getting the problem and not the
and it
responses.
May not be.
No, of course not. And just to know that, okay, this area is very sensitive. I need to move from there, and not be scared about, oh, the device is having problems because it's getting warm. No, it's not the device. It's the nervous system responding. So to know these kind of small things, like just, I think it's really very important as practitioners and to the clients to say, go little by little. We need to get to keep going, but just little by little.
Yeah. So we seem to think, in this part of the world, that if some is good, more is better. And that's not necessarily so, of course. And so the other thing, and one of the very practical things that I know that, we teach in our course is how to deal with the difference between chronic and acute pain. And that's really important, because a practitioner, not just the client or the patient, can get very frustrated. Like, oh, well, this light therapy worked for everybody in my life, but why isn't it working for my chronic pain? And it may be that they've hit the plateau and we've got to go past that, or that we're not interrupting the nerve signal coming from the spine. So we have to know that, oh, okay, well, you're not just putting the pads or the bars or whatever they are on the area that's hurting, but we also have to know where that nerve is coming in at the spine and interrupt that signal with some more light therapy. And those are the kinds of simple, basic things that make a big difference by being educated.
Yes, to have the ability to know that the first thing that we have to do is lower the stress, the level of stress, and then go to the areas that are having the problems. But we cannot heal if we are under such terrible stress. So that's part of the wider way of looking at knowledge is the most important thing. First of all, we cannot be able to help anybody if they are under terrible stress. We want to bring them out of that amount of stress to be able to really help in the very specific issues they are having. So I think with the knowledge on just like have that as the first principle, and from there, just like,
like putting, that's one thing that both you, I think you were the one that first brought that to us, is like putting a pad at the TMJ part of the jaw, or whatever, and to shift, and other areas of the body that you can do to shift that person from the sympathetic or the fight or flight or freeze or, nervous system into the parasympathetic.
That's the very first thing to do. And then go do whatever you can do, but as a plus. But first, just help them to get rid of that fight or flight response, because if not, the results won't last.
Right. So NIH, or the National Institute of Health, for decades now has been saying that something like 70 to 90% of all illness is directly related to stress. So it's not just a good idea to reduce the stress. It's that if we don't, then it's like a little ticking time bomb to create problems down the road. So one of the things with photobiomodulation is knowing how to use your system, whatever system you're using, how to get that person shifted over to their rest, relax, sleep mode. Because that's where in the parasympathetic nervous system, that's where we're going to heal. I have had so many clients on my table tell me, oh, I'm not going to fall asleep, because I'll say, you might fall asleep. And then, oh, no, I don't fall asleep. No, that's not. Boom. Almost everybody, if you have them on the table long enough. And the longest we ever have anybody on the table is 30 minutes. And they fall asleep. So that's when the healing's going to occur. Because they've got to shift.
I think that's the main point for understanding the importance on how to use our devices. And yes, of course, behind there's all this science explaining what is it that we are doing, but just to know that we have to do what we have to do is the most important thing for us to be able to really help, and for the clients to have the benefits of what they are paying to.
So, and I would say with the educated use, anything, if we're going to have a device, we want to be educated, because yes, it can work if you just put the lights on and boom, turn it on and go to sleep. When you have the educated use of it, you know how to use it more effectively. And I guess that's the point.
Isabel Martinez and Dr. Ginger Bowler are certified light therapy instructors and co-founders of the Light Energy Training Seminars. You can send us an email with your questions and comments to podcast@letskeepitlight.com, and be sure to visit us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Sarah Weston, and we'll see you at the next episode of Let's Keep It Light.